Hey, hi, how are you guys, man? Oh, I was just checking to see whether anyone was here listening to me. I was muted. It's good to have the mute button back though. How are you guys doing? Man, this is a phenomenal time, right? Euros. Look at the results we're seeing. I mean, last night I felt bad for Denmark. They played really well. But you have to ask yourself a question whether they can sustain that kind of pressure. At the end of it all, they couldn't. Belgium's bench is just too strong. The moment KDB showed up, that's it. Game, set, match. And then we've got a great match tonight, right? So we've got some big matches coming up later. So there'll be a hard stop to today's show. I definitely want to catch the first game. And on today's show, we'll be looking at your tactics as well. So I've got a save here from Claudio Almeida. We're going to be using his save for this. And I plan to, some of the tactics have been uploaded. Of course, I'll put up a link later so you guys can pop in some of your tactics. Again, I will not be able to cover all the tactics, That'll be a hard stop before Euros kick off. And I've been, personally, I wanted to use one of my own saves, but I reckon I better stay away from them because I know them so well. So I'm using a totally strange save. I've never played it before. Speaking of saves, my forest save is very interesting right now because I refuse to use logic when it comes to creating tactics. So we're on a long losing streak. The thing I like about Football Manager 21, and this is pretty cool. We used to be able to just take one tactic and transport it to another team and just play with it, right? In the old days, which explains the success I had with Gloucester, Kingstonian, and back those old days, right? We just get these rapid promotions up. Nowadays, it's more like you gotta the same tactic won't work with another team because you got players that play differently. They up the effect traits can have, and small little things that were improved in the engine, and so every time I think a tactic is dust, I go like, oh my god, this tactic is brilliant. I take it to another team, I immediately see that it's so player dependent. I see a lot of tactics being created right now. There's someone created this tactic which was defense. He claims it's defensive and it's counter attacking. And when I looked at the tactic, I went like, I'm sorry, man. There's something very wrong with this tactic. I mean, I probably am gonna share that tactic with y'all. Let me just go and find it. Okay. I mean, it's. I don't mean to sound like terrible when I critiqued the person's tactic, but it was very. I was very direct, right? So I mean. I'm gonna definitely show you guys the thing. There's no point me just like keeping it to myself. Okay, so let's just pop this in, right? So I'm just gonna show you what I mean. Let's see if I can switch the screens. I forgot to set it up, so you're gonna see black for a while. I didn't expect to do this, but I will do it anyway because this is really important. Okay, so we've got this tactic from this guy, right? Who's like very fed up with the game because it doesn't seem to work for him. No, wait, hold on. It wasn't this one. No. It wasn't this guy. Where was it? Oh, is this guy? Yeah. All right. So he created this tactic. And how do I concede so many chances to the defensive tactic, a relatively good team? Am I missing something? So random in 21, feels so far from reality. Question is, when you look at the tactic itself, he wants it to be defensive. Let's look at the tactic. Let's ask ourselves some very fundamental questions about what's a defensive tactic, right? A defensive tactic is one where you're basically sitting back and taking punches and hitting teams on a counter. So you tend to play with typically like standard line of engagement or low line of engagement, right? Now, here he has a lower defensive line, a lower line of engagement. He prevents short goalkeeper distribution and he has counter press on. But where in this tactic is it defensive? Because for me, the fact that you have a lower defensive line just means that these guys are going to be closer to the keeper when you have the ball and when you lose the ball, right? So they're going to be closer. So then you have counter press on. Now, counter press is going to affect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when you lose the ball, all of them are going to push forward to try and win the ball back. We got a low line of engagement. So it just doesn't make any sense, right? So much of this tactic didn't make sense. And you've got focus play to the middle and you're playing wide. So basically, you're telling your players to stand further away, right? But you want them to shift in when you're passing the ball because you're focusing play through the middle. So I was struggling to see how this tactic would work. I mean, the roles and duties suggest that a lot of things. Here, the roles and duties are perfectly okay. They will work with a lot of tactics. AP, DLP, hogging the ball on this side of the pitch. Maybe focus play on the left would have been a better idea here, right? Then instead of counter press, don't play counter press. Just go regroup, right? Okay, regroup would have been okay. Why distribute to playmaker? If you're going to be facing a lot of pressure, which is what's happening with this tactic, you're going to have to kick the ball towards the playmakers on either side. So I'm going, if you want, okay, when you want to play a defensive tactic, right, where you're soaking pressure, there are two ways of doing it, right? The first way you can do a defensive tactic, okay, is going to be you sit back with a compressed block, meaning maybe you have a standard defensive line and a standard line of engagement. That's it. That's enough, right? Within that block, you do high pressing. So your pressing intensity is quite high, right? You don't go and, okay, if you want to go and have like pressing instructions on the front three, then what you're doing is a bit counterintuitive because you're telling your team to drop back, but you're telling the front three players to cross. Now, it's possible in a lot of scenarios to play a standard line of engagement and a standard defensive line and a much higher line of engagement, and you have maximum pressing. It can work. It definitely can work because what you then require are very good players. If you don't have the right kind of players, then because of the big gap, then because you have the big gap, you have to be very certain of keeping the ball. If you don't keep the ball, you lose the ball, and you end up gifting chances away. So there are fundamentals that people need to understand, like how to set up the line of engagement, how to set up the defensive line. That's it, right? If you get that right, half the time you're smiling. Yeah. Exactly, those team instructions all clash with what he wants to do. And you guys have been following my channel for so long. A lot of you are actually quite good at creating tactics. I ought to know, man. You guys beat me all the time. You guys try to beat me all the time, or most of you can, right? Maybe there should be a new season 3 champion with season. And like I said, our Discord, I'm hoping to. One of the reasons why we do a lot of PvP on our Discord, I'm trying to encourage more, is it's an environment where you don't. If you're learning about PvP, it's a good place to start. Right. You try something out. People, or most people, basically starting out. Then you reach a point where you're probably pretty confident and you're pretty good, and hopefully you get to the point where you consistently beat the shit of everybody else. I'm waiting to see that day come. Yeah. And it's tactics isn't just about like that tactic that we just saw, this one, right? Oops, not this one. That's me. This tactic, how do you fix it? Very simple. This line of engage, this lower defensive line can set it to standard, right? You got this wingback is going to bomb forward. These guys already picked up yellow cards in this game. This is very understandable, right? Because you got these two. I mean, if you want to make a defensive counter-attacking tactic, having an AP here doesn't make any sense either, right? I mean, Trequartista would be fine, right? He drops deep and then he bombs forward. Maybe a track could do. And then you could have like an inside forward, or maybe here, an inverted winger playing here with an inside forward going this. It makes more sense because then you got a really creative fulcrum on the left. And focus play to the middle, nah. Why focus play to the middle? Why go wide and focus play to the middle? It's like counterintuitive. So either you can focus play on the left and play wide, and then what you'll see is faster passing through this tier. Okay, and then you can unlock this side of the pitch where you can have an inside forward. Then you could definitely remove counter press. I mean, okay, there are some tactics like a 4-4-2 where counter press makes sense if you're playing a counter attacking tactic. Why? Because you got flat 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 here, 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So when you move up the pitch, all of them are higher up the pitch. It makes sense because if you lose the ball in that transition, it makes sense you try and win the ball back. So that counter pressing actually makes sense. Here, because you've got 3 duties in the opponent's third already. Okay, counter pressing just it activates these guys and pulls these two out of position, which is like, where do you lose the ball? If you lose the ball in midfield, you're in a lot of trouble because when you lose the ball in midfield, okay, then all these players are out of position. So you could open yourself up. So in counter press is something I like to see being used in certain systems. It's great in high line of engagement. It's great with a high defensive line because you're committing your players forward. So counter press makes a lot of sense there. But when you want to create a defensive counter-attacking tactic, then you got to be very careful how you use counter press because it can work against your counter-attacking style. Here, prevent shot goalkeeper distribution again. Is it useful? Because you're trying to draw teams out and then hit them on the break. So kind of decide what kind of style you want to have right here. So here was a bit funny. And then play out a defense or counter-attacking. Do you really want to play out a defense? I don't. If I was playing counter-attacking football, what the hell do I want to play out defense so nicely for? I want the ball to move quickly to attack, right? So if the goalkeeper gets the ball, I don't want him to like, let's just play to the defender. Defender plays to the other guy. Hey, I'm counter-attacking. I want the ball to get up the pitch quickly. So remove play out of defense. Right? Makes no sense. Work ball into box. Since when does counter-attacking styles, defensive tactics, play work ball into box? See, there's a difference between a defensive tactic and a safe possession tactic. Get me right? I'm not saying that the two are not mutually exclusive. You can have a defensive tactic that is built around keeping the ball. Then you work it around the box and you try and create goals. You can do something like that, right? But, I mean, so the results here make sense to me. Like when I saw these results, I was like, yeah, right, okay. You're sitting back asking teams to, bang, goal, hit 16 corners. Of course it's gonna happen. You're sitting back with a low defensive line. What do you expect? No corners? So yeah. So So you gotta think before you gotta think about all these team instructions when you set them up. Hey Peter, I'm fine. Hey Joe, Mako, welcome back, man. When would it be viable to use tighter marking or more urgent pressing? She wants to play a counter, but I think they struggle with getting. Okay, if you can play extreme pressing settings. Nobody says you can't. Right? I sometimes do that as well. Like I kind of like to do extreme pressing settings when I've got a big gap between my defensive line and my line of engagement. Why? Because what's the point of just pressing a small little bit, right? That I like to do. Now, when the more I create the gap, right? So the thing is this, right? This pressing urgency is entirely up to what you're comfortable with. Like high tempo, high intensity systems, they actually work better with higher pressing because your players are just not giving the opposition time to settle into a shape. So you can use high pressing then. What about tight marking? Tight marking is situation. Tight marking, okay. Every single coach will tell you this, right? When you see a player like Romelu Lukaku, very strong, very great, get tight on him. Don't let him turn. Why? Because the moment there's a gap between you and him, you're toast. He's just gonna rain on your parade, right? So don't get in tight. Don't give him space. Make it miserably difficult for him to control the ball. That's what tight marking is all about, right? So when you use tight marking, the challenge of tight marking is when you go tight on somebody, you also want to limit his other options. Like, does he have passing options? Does he have other passing? So when you do tight marking with intense pressing, sometimes better players are able to find space, right? So when you tight mark him, he has to pass the ball, right? But everybody is pressing like crazy. So he's got, he's a good player. He can find the pass to play. So he will probably be able to pass the ball to somebody else. So I will use tight marking very carefully. But I don't mind, tight marking is great in those compressed blocks. What's a compressed block? When your line of engagement and your defensive line aren't too far apart. Otherwise, you can use tight marking on specific players. Like, you can tell your defenders to do tight marking because you have opposition player like Romelu Lukaku playing, and you're telling your defenders, look, the moment he gets the ball, go tight on him. You can use it as an opposition instruction. Makes a lot of sense when you do it like that. So tight marking can be used as a TI as well. I like to use tight marking quite a lot in my more counter-attacking systems where I play with aggressive blocks. Then I almost always use tight marking. When I play those very expansive systems, right? Those systems which have got a very big gap between my line of engagement and my defensive line, I never use tight marking because my players are going to get skinned, right? Because there's the nearest player is too far away, right? So that's how I set it up. So that's how I use tight marking. Do you think natural fitness play a part in others' physical attributes developing? Natural fitness definitely plays a part. Why? Because natural fitness affects the recovery time of a player between games. It affects basically, if a player's got very low natural fitness, sometimes he can't play more than 2 games a week. Sometimes after a game, he can't even train. No, he gets jaded really fast. So whenever you're looking at natural fitness, one of the reasons why my youth player development is so successful is because I never sign players with less than 10 for natural fitness, which makes all my youth players, when I develop them, look superb in training. It's because I avoid all the ones so I know won't last. Right, so that's the thing. Yeah, it's a messy tactic, man. Hey Leo, how are you, man? Okay guys, so let's take a look at we got a few tactics. So this is not my save, it's Claudia Almeida save, so thank goodness he's here, so you can probably tell me who to pick. I have no clue, man. So we're looking at these tactics that we've got today. Got a few. I already transferred some of these tactics in. So today is 15. Okay, so we got a couple. You got Red Pearl. We've got a couple here. Okay, this is from last week, right? So okay, we got a 4-2-3-1 here. So basically, I'm just going to use the S-Man to select. But I'm going to look out for things like the roles here. What we want is positioning. Hopefully, this guy is good, man. Tackling is 10. In a 4-2-3-1, we better depend on other players around him to cover the slack. He's got 17 for tackling. Wow. This guy is phenomenal. But what if we have a DLP like this? Let's see if we got another DLP who's got some tackling, some passing, visions. Passing, 14, vision. Decisions, flair 10. I mean, this guy is just a ball winner. Glorified ball winner. Okay. What about this guy? Nope, unregistered. Nobody else. Saul Marina? What about you? Nope, can't play him, man. If you're on Discord, then all you gotta do is go to the Bring Your Tactics channel, and there's a link at the top. Just click the link. It gives you the link to the direct download, to upload the tactics directly to me. So it's very easy for you guys. Okay, so I mean, the tactic in itself has got 3 trequartistas. Oi! Emenovic! This is definitely a tactic he wants to use for PvP, man. It's just to confuse the living daylights of the people. Okay, 3 trequartistas in midfield. What does that mean? it means that the two midfielders better be good. Yeah. Will it work? I mean, honestly, most roles in this game work. The only way you're gonna screw up tactics if you get your team instructions wrong. Trust me. Okay. Most of the time, it's the team instructions, and of course, you know, if you are, of course, as well, right? You need, like, in a two-man midfield, you probably need these two guys to be superb, especially in a 4-2-3-1, or at least choose roles that make them work really well together. The challenge here with this tactic is that we have 3 trequartistas, and trequartistas have a high CA, meaning you gotta find players who have the ability to play as a trequartista. Right, okay, we just lost one player. We're losing players, man. Okay, what is this? Sanha, okay, tackling is not too bad. So let's look at these players, right? We can see from here, role ability, how close they are. So you got 2.5, 2-star. This guy is supposed to be damn good as a trequartista. Oh, Murillo. Okay, not too bad. Moves into channels, knocks ball, cuts inside from both wings. Okay, that's kind of cool. What about this guy? Fabian Jones. Okay, gets. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Comes deep to get the ball and cut. A trequartista already comes deep to get the ball, right? Okay, so that's what tracks do anyway. So this is going to be fun. How inside forwards play very inconsistent. Depends on the setup, man. Inside forwards attack the box, right? That's what they do. So sometimes when you don't have space, inside forwards just go run and then they run right across the face of the defense just to look for somebody to pass the ball to if they play on support. So you gotta create the space for them. Okay, so this high line, high defensive line, Mojo, use tighter marking, get stuck in. Okay. You can actually okay, we'll play the game. Let's just 3 trequartistas make this a very, very interesting tactic. We gotta observe the transitions, man. Because it's very hard to say, because with Emodovic, I don't know whether half the time his tactics are for PvP or whether it's for in the real game. Is he on chat? No, he's not. Okay. Okay, this is a very interesting feel. It's a square. Oh man, I love these leagues, man. Some of the leagues are fantastic. You know what I mean? The feel is so square. So what happens when you play on a pitch like this? What do? A chip finds a player behind the lines, right? So you got to be very careful of passing into space. You got to be very careful of playing a very high line, right? Because the opposition can easily put one over the top and you're in trouble, right? So we come in. Okay, we'll watch it on 2D, right? Then we'll speed it up a bit more. So we got Merlin, Betis with the ball. Now this is your wait. I'm not used to this. This is a new. Yeah, I've had to change and use the default skin because of draft mode. Most of the time when I'm using draft mode, I'm not allowed to change. They have a default skin, right? So if you don't use the default skin, and then you come out and you have your own custom skin, sometimes they give you all kinds of issues. All right, so we are watching an extended. Again, the second highlight is theirs as well. This is not good, man. Because you're playing tracks, right? So you gotta expect these tracks not to really put in a shift when it comes to closing down. There we go. I mean, they do help you close down the channels, but you see how easy it is for them to get past. And there you go. 1, 2. And this is built for the counter, man. That's the good thing about tracks. You see? Let's get out of this view. Let's go to a bigger view, sideline view. All right, why can't I get rid of this? This is a waste of space. Okay, all right, we got all this. You see, this guy holds up the ball. 1, 2, attacking duties, right? What happens when you have a counter attack like this is everybody's the team's mentality is jacked up to attacking. Then all the roles, right, start playing very like this is a trequartista going straight for goal. Then it holds up the. You see, we can hold up the ball, right? You see, this trequartista is gonna bolt. This one is here to support play. He might bolt. Or they win the ball. Okay. They just. The thing is, they will help you keep close on the channels, right? See this? Trequartistas. They help you close on the channels. Not entirely bad choice, but you gotta accept certain things. What the hell? Now hold on, let me just make sure replay events don't show me all this. All right. It's every month. Leo Detmer, if you go to the FM talks, right? There's an FM talks channel where all the talks are listed there. So you can watch all the talks if you want to. I mean, yeah, all the talks are pinned, right? So in the FM talks channel. So all first team members get access to the channel. I do that. I do the talk once a month, or sometimes, yeah, depends on the situation. Right? Sometimes I do twice a month if the last month I didn't have time to do one. This month's team talks is going to be very interesting. All I'm doing is set pieces. All I'm doing is set pieces. 1 entire hour devoted to set pieces. You guys are going to kick my ass in PvP after that. Because you're going to find out exactly how I do it. See the track, right? The thing about Trequartistas is if they don't have very good... Yeah, we gotta make one change to the tactic, right? Just one change. Okay, I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna see if your team can just go like... You see, he's doing slow plays down. Slow pace. I'm gonna remove this as well. Okay. I'm gonna play a slightly different style. There's nothing wrong with this tactic. Okay. I'm just dropping it now. Dropping the line now. Just want to see what happens. Dropping this. What have I done to your tactic? I've turned this tactic from what it was earlier, which is I don't really know whether it was possession based or what, because everything seems to be happening at light speed, right? So what I'm doing right now is just basically turning it into a kind of like a tactic where you sit back, right? Your wall is this 5, 4, 6 guys. And what you're doing is you're trying to turn these 4 into your counter-attacking options. Now, because we know one of these roles is always going to drop, right? He's dropping because of his trade. Whether we can soak and hit on the break. That's all. There's another thing we can do as well with a tactic like that. You see, because we haven't changed, right? Right. This is what I was worried about. Look at this. See, all these guys are not doing anything. They're just coming back. Okay, what I'm going to change, another thing, because I wanted to get inside. Nah, we're going to change one of these. Go do something, cut inside with the ball. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Fine. We do... Wait, hold on. What we're going to do is we're going to draw those wingers. We're going to put somebody on the wingers. Okay. So we got a mark specific player, the white midfielder on the left. And we're going to tell this guy to mark the midfielder on the right. So he's going to just track the midfielder. Here's the ball. I don't know if it's going to work. So what is going to happen is these guys are going to be here. That's all. So now I'm telling those wingers, right, to basically just hang around the opposite wingers. So we kind of make it harder for that team to pass the ball. Now, when they run out of passing options, because I've dropped my line of engagement and I'm also not playing our defense anymore, what am I going to do is I'm not going to waste any time in the transition, right? I'm just going to hit them very quickly, right? Because we've got all this 4, because we don't really need this 4 to do any attacking. It's one of the reasons why I like 4-2-3-1s. Oh, that was close but no cigar. He almost slid in and scored the third. Another goal. So there we go. Another fast break, right? No wasting of time. Get the ball out quickly and then try and score a goal. Yeah, we play futsal on this pitch. Exactly. It's a futsal pitch, man. I'll open the if there's time, I'm going to open allow y'all to drop in the tactics for in a bit, right? Just give me a short while, and because today's show has got a hard stop at 9 o'clock or my time 9 o'clock, which is in about 2 hours time, slightly under 2 hours because of Euros. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the tactic. There's good movement. That's it. All we did was just tweak one thing, right? So now I got these guys marking, so we're removing their passing options. It doesn't really affect the way they're attacking because they're not too far away from the wingers anyway, right? This is nice. It's very funky to use 3 trequartistas. Nothing wrong. Don't let anybody say it's a bad move. Because you have to remember what a trequartista does. A trequartista is a very creative player who busts the gut to get into the box and score goals, or he tries to create chances for other players. How did that ball get in? This is why the pitch is so small. How the heck did this ball go in, man? Oh man, he just missed the header. That's it. Hey Chico, you're getting so humiliated in your save you did. Nah man, don't worry about it. I get humiliated. I'm being humiliated. I should show you my forest save. Talk about being humiliated. That one I'm totally getting hammered. I'm getting hammered by everyone. Look, it happens to everybody, right? Like, we all get this periods where some things don't work out right. But you gotta try and sit back and ask yourself why it's not working out right for you. Right? For me, it works out because I'm too egotistical. I think I can make my team use any tactic. So I sometimes pay the price for my my ego, and I end up looking like an idiot. So I like that, right? Brings me back down to earth. And I don't claim. I mean, these are all interesting tactics, right? A lot of tactics you guys are making actually work. Sometimes it's just a small little tweak that you need. Like his tactic worked, right? I mean, I bet you if you took this tactic and show it to one of your friends and you go, I'm using this tactic in my next game, they're probably gonna go, haha, who the hell uses 4 trequartistas? But hey, we saw it can work, right? So all you gotta do is drop the line. Maybe I'm not sure if you need this. Then force the opposition inside, right? You can remove this, right? You can actually do this and this as well if you wanted. And you can actually go wider to encourage your flank play. Right, so your balls are always going towards these guys. Right, remove the slow pace down. Right, and what else did I do? Oh yeah, tell these guys to mark opposition wingers whenever they play. Right, if there are no opposition wingers, let's say if there's a narrow system like 5-3-2, tell them to get on the asses of the wingbacks, so those wingbacks never get into the game. So this is one way of doing it. So okay, now let's take a look at. Man, I gotta do it again. Man, this today is like a bit going around the camel sash just to get to the tactics folder. Okay, second tactic. We've got Fantasy 3-5-2 strikerless. Wow. Wait, seriously, you guys, really? I mean, I love you guys a lot, seriously, because nowadays all of you are coming up with these really, really funky tactics, man. First we had 3 trequartistas. Now we have a tactic which has got 2 segundo volantes. Again, I think this can work. You know why? Anchor. Someone pushing up from the center and these 2 bombing forward to keep up with the 2 shadow strikers. Only thing I'm gonna ask questions about are the 2 complete wingbacks, but I think it can work. I think it can work, but let's see how it works. Does it look like my? I have a 3-4-3 strikerless that I use. Now this is going to be just shorter passing. Not too sure about that. Chico, how are you, man? Hey, so we are up for Sunday, yeah, guys. Sunday. Draft mode again. So right now, season 1 winner, moi. Season 2 winner, I don't know who won season 2. Okay. So egotistical. There was season 3. I'm just gonna disturb you guys, seriously. Yeah, I really gotta. Chico is getting annoyed, really. I think the next one you guys gotta thump me, man. Dethrone the current champion. Okay. Wait, I see. I have to remember who was the second league champion. It was me. I was the first and the third. Who won the third? We have to put an honor roll somewhere. Yeah. I know I won the first and the third, but who won the second league? I think it was Chico, right? I think it's Chico. You won it, right? I think it was you. BK Eaton. It was BK Eaton. Alright. Decline. So first league champion was me. Second one was BK Eaton. Third one was me again. Man, what's the... But I like to play you guys. So please, please, please. Bring it on. Bring it on. Let's all have some fun. Oh yeah, this time around we're going to Africa. Okay. Hence the Ghana jersey. Yeah, BK Eaton was the second one. Yeah. Yeah, Africa is going to be interesting, right? I want to see what... I'm very interested to see who you guys signed first. Joe... What, the strike... Are you talking about the strikeless tactic, Joe Mako? Okay, we got a few more tactics to look at, and then once I reach 1 or 2, then I'm gonna pop in the rest. Let's see. We got any more? I know Peter's. I just picked up Peter's tactic. All right. Okay, I'm gonna put the link up. Okay. The link is available to all those who just popped in, and then you can I'm gonna pick, like, if there are a lot of tactics, I'm gonna pick like 2 or 3 only. Maximum I'm gonna do is the maximum I'll do is 2. Okay, I'll be very honest. So the first 2 that are in get to be done. Okay, dressing room. Oh my goodness, we didn't even pick our players, did we? We just went in. Oh yeah, we did. Ikovic. Tackling 7. Yep. That was smart. We might have to play this again, right? Because I don't think I picked the players properly. Sana, Barrios, okay. We gotta look at the transitions, right? How the ball transitions from defense to midfield to attack to see whether the tactic is any decent. I mean, potentially, I think it has the potential because it all depends on your volantes. And look at your complete wingbacks. Just raining on the team's parade, man. Oh, especially against a 4-2-3 was very impressive. Because normally, tactics which have got only like one outlet for a flank-based game, right? They tend to struggle against like a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-4-2 because they've got options for 2. And we're beginning to see that now. Like, so far the highlights are kind of stopped. I thought, yeah, look, see this? 1, 2, 3, 4. They can put a lot of pressure on your flanks. Look at this. Unless that is intentional. No PIs except for this guy. Okay. Yep. Nothing here. Okay. Yep. Line of engagement is standard. Okay. So very hard for the teams to find space between your lines. Okay, what changes would I make? The first change I'll make, I'll show it to you guys very soon, right? The first change I'm gonna make is very straightforward. It's good because in a sense this one can still work in most games. You don't have to make many changes to this tactic because a lot of the attacking patterns are going to be central, right? You're looking for players to make those kind of passes from the center. This includes your DLP. Your DLP is going to be very important. He's going to have the ability to dictate the tempo and play killer balls. So the guy in the middle is actually very important. Then there's also going to be these 2 complete wingbacks. These 2 complete wingbacks are your only source of width, right? So what I would do is actually turn them to attack duty. And see what happens, right? Because we got 4 punching, but this guy is holding, right? So you got 3. It's very, very dangerous. You know, just want to see if it works. I could be wrong, but it seems to make sense to my head because the opposition are playing with 4-2-3-1, so they have the extra advantage on the flank. So I'm trying to put more pressure down the flanks so that the wingers have to come back and defend all the time. So that's how I normally play when I play with a narrow system. With a narrow system, I'm always getting my wing backs to put a lot of pressure on their flanks. I mean, it's a risk I take. Yeah, true. Like this, you see what has happened? We have to track back, but it's not different from what was happening in the first 15 minutes before we changed the tactic, right? Yeah, I saw. You put up a filter on the Discord for everybody to use. But the thing about Africa is this, right? Okay, the biggest challenge when you're doing a draft in Africa is goalkeepers. Africa isn't, I mean, apart from the 2 world famous goalkeepers that we have playing in Africa, who else do we have? Sorry. Okay, so far. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna go focus straight to the middle. See, now your complete wingbacks act like wingers. Alright, so there's only one slight change. I mean, I like this setup a bit more. Because then my wingbacks are like wingers, this becomes like a 3-4-3 in attack. Now the other thing I may want to try and do, I'm actually adding more and more complexity to this tactic. The only other problem now is these 2 players. They need to have traits that this guy is I gotta take him off. Can't see to the ball is not helping us. I'm gonna just pick him, just stick him there. I mean, maybe I'll just undo that, find the right player. Likes ball play to feet. Fabian Jones comes to Dylan Monroe. Okay, I like this a bit more. He actually is gonna explode a bit more. Okay, we'll just put him there instead. I think the 2 shadow strikers, if that comes deep to get the ball, just makes it harder for your tactic. That is good. You got too many players like playing funky stuff in the middle. You see, there we go. You got 1 taking the defenders on, right? Okay. All right. Next thing that we're gonna do is I'm going to do pass into space. Can work, but we just have to tweak it slightly, that's all. So DLP is playing slingshots. Okay, maybe our DLP is not good enough. Let's see our DLP. Passing, try scalar balls, allies late, passing. Okay, that's not too bad. He can actually do the stuff that we want him to do. What about these 2? Like try scalar balls, holy cow. Both of them are quite good. Okay. Both are quite good. One Murillo. I mean, these 2 should be able to, right? Shadow Striker will turn you into a Trequartista. I mean, since we're so funky at the moment, let's just add a bit more. Instead of having 2 similar roles, we'll have 1 Trequartista, 1 Shadow Striker. Since you already, because you went and added roam from position to the Shadow Striker, right? So just added that. You gotta time machine and get Songo, yeah, man. We did a lot. The problem with Africa is the goalkeepers. Strikers shouldn't be an issue. Everyone is gonna look at Edouard Mendy and is it Andre Onana first. That's it. And then whoever's left with the rest is they're gonna start praying. That's the only downside about playing in Africa. So everyone's gonna go and Google Morocco's national goalkeeper, Ghana's national goalkeeper, South Africa's national goalkeeper. Okay, not too bad. Not too. I heard something, so I have to take the headsets off. I mean, I'm wondering if my wife is going to surprise me suddenly. Well, I mean, it's okay. I mean, I'm not screaming like, I mean, as a whole, it can work, but like you need a lot of favors in this setup. Okay, all right. We gotta turn this guy into a bit of a support duty, right? Get him to move as well. I mean, we got a lot of players moving now in that little space. You've already found your goalkeeper, cheap ass? Oh, that's good. I just in case you guys are preparing to play against like I played asymmetric system lately, right? So I'm not playing asymmetric this time around. I'm playing a different tactic. Very old-fashioned tactic. Yeah, very simple, basic tactic. So yeah. Yeah, I think on the whole it can. I mean, you gotta tweak it a few times, but you gotta have to look for players who like to break offside trap as well. I'm not saying it's. I mean, I'm not a big fan of. This is very bottom heavy as a strikerless tactic. I'm more like do this. Okay, so we go Mazala on attack. Mazala on attack. DLP on defense. This guy go this way, this guy go this way, this guy go this way, this guy go this way. And we got a complete wingback. So now we have something like that. I would change it like this, right? Then I can have these guys punching to the middle and this guy slingshotting everything from the back. He's quarterbacking everything from the back. The passing I would change to standard. But I will use it. I would just change it to this. Okay? So it gives you a bit more options. Because that just had too many transitions. Were like, you know, trying to work the ball from defense all the way out. So it took a really long time. But if you put two players in the midfield tier, your transitions should become a lot faster. All right. So now we have positive 5-2-2-1 wingback. But if I change the tactic, or does it look the same? 3-4-2-1. 3-4-2-1. Nice. AM attack. Poacher doesn't move around. Okay. I'm just gonna say this. Poacher is not a good idea in that setup. Why? Because you have two players arriving into the box, right? The problem is when they arrive into the box. What the hell? I'm rejecting the offer. Okay. When you have two players arriving into the box, you don't want a static target occupying the space. So generally, what you want in this position is a player that moves into the channels. The idea here is that he pulls the central defenders away from their position. So whenever you want to create a tactic, right, which has got players arriving late from the pocket to try and score goals, try and get the striker to move out. So you want him to have a lot of movement so that the channel opens up and the players can attack the channel, right? So the only danger with when you have a striker playing like that and he goes into the channels is you need to check his foot. Ideally, you want a striker that's got two good feet, because imagine this: you get a striker with a very strong right foot and a very weak left foot, right? And you play him on the right side, on top as a striker. Now, whenever he goes to the right, he can only cross the ball. That means he goes into the channel, right? If he comes attacking from the channel, he can only cross the ball because he's not going to score with his left foot. So he'll end up crossing the ball most of the time. So if you play a striker with these kind of feet, right? So you want the right-footed striker to come in from the left. So this is something that you have to bear in mind when you start thinking of, okay, I'm going to play this guy and I want him to play move. I want him to have a role that moves into channel. Then you also got to start thinking about his feet, right? Where is he going to end up? If he ends up on the left as a right footer, you're golden, right? Because then you know that if he comes in, he's going to shoot. And then when he moves to the channels and he goes to the left, right side, then you got to ask yourself, okay, he's going to the right side. Who do I have arriving to score? Right. So in that setup, then I would look at the striker that I have, because I've got shadows. You got a shadow striker coming in, right? So you got a shadow striker attacking that space. So he's gonna make space for the shadow striker. So he might end up going to the right and then driving this cutback or crosses to the box. It can happen. You're looking for a fast striker? Yeah, there are so many fast strikers. In Africa, if you can't find a fast striker, good luck. You better give up on the game. Africa got no fast strikers. I laugh, man. Tomorrow. Africa, there's so many fast strikers. You try using him as an AF, his ratings weren't good enough. Oh, that's in your save, right? So I'm looking at this one. Yeah. But whatever it is, right? If you the question is, okay, this I want you to stop thinking his ratings are not good enough, so I'm going to give him a poacher's role because it's a simple role, so he can do, he'll do it well. Wrong way of thinking, because it affects your tactic. You always need to ask yourself, what role am I giving the player? That role is going to work with other roles. A player can play any role in the game. Okay, don't let anyone stop you from. A player can play any role in the game, any role. You can have a shitty player playing as a trequartista. Nothing is going to stop him. His attributes might affect the way he plays it. He might not be a very effective one, but he's going to drop. He's going to create space. He's going to drop and he's going to arrive late into the box. That you can bank. You can put all the money on the world on that. He will do it. That is what you want, you see. So what you're interested in whenever you choose a role is their movement, right? That's the first thing you want to check out. To say, how do they move? Like in this particular case, this is a poacher. He's going to be static. Now let's check his feet. Yeah, let's check his feet. Tactics, right? He's got reasonable and very strong. So he can, he's not too bad with his left foot. Not that fantastic, right? Reasonable is okay only. Very strong with his right foot. So even in a two-striker partnership, he's always on the left, not on the right. Never put him on the right, right? Because he's got a right foot, very strong. You want him to play on the left side. So here we got Mino. Let's see what he does. Fairly strong right foot. So he's coming in from the left side with his right foot. So he's gonna always, he's gonna be in a good position to come and score. What about this guy? He's got a very weak left foot. So he's not really gonna score. He's gonna cross. Right. So we don't want him playing there. So this guy is not playing there because there's no point. So we're gonna look at this guy, Molina. Notice this, I'm not looking at their stats or their attributes or whatever. I'm just looking at this. Oops. Left foot very strong. Okay, we're gonna get Molina to play instead. Okay, so I'm putting Molina here. So that's how I choose my players in this kind of a configuration, right? Now we know this guy is good. He doesn't move into channels. So you can come in here and do this. Move into channels, right? So if your player isn't that good, do that instead, right? So he will drift into the channels. That means you go into the spaces between the fullback and the fullback and the DC as well. So he might go right, he might go left. Okay, what have you got here? Ball winning midfielder in Gorka. Gorka, I think can, yeah. Evo, oh my goodness, I can't even pronounce his name. No, but we can't use him. He's hopeless. Okay, we're gonna play him. Okay, Baldari. Oh, suddenly the whole map turned red. What's he? He's a defender. Oh shit. Sorry. 17 passing. Okay, that's not too bad. He's got passing, vision, decisions, flair. Flair not so good, but still decent. Okay. Still half decent, so we'll play him here. Okay. Okay, this setup, again, one wingback going this way, okay, fine. At least you got one. You need to have at least one of them attacking the flanks, right? You definitely want. Overlap left, I would remove it, right? Not necessary. Unless you want him, because it's like you want him to be high up the pitch. Yeah, he will be, but it's just going to increase his risk factor, right? So you don't need that overlap instruction. So it's not like it's gonna make a huge difference. Just this overlap instruction is just increasing his risk appetite at the moment. So we'll play for a while, and then after I'll change things around. Overall tactic, there's nothing wrong with it, except for maybe choosing the perfect players and then maybe the PI on the poacher. Personally, I prefer an AF or a AF, PFA. No, maybe. I like a role that moves around a lot, right? Like AF moves around a lot, complete fault moves around a lot. Pressing forward, I'm not entirely sure. Poacher, not so. But we can watch it for a while and then we'll see whether we need to change it. Once again, right? Wing backs, right? Skip. Bounce back. There he is. Look at where his wing back is. The wing back is in the right position. And we're just going to remove this overlap. Okay, the width instruction just tells you to use the flanks more, right? So if you have like high width settings in this, your passes are always they're going to look out for those players on the flanks first. See, move into channels. That's what I want him to do. I want him to vacate the center. That's why we added the move into channels. Because we don't want him to be in the box all the time. Okay. So the next thing I do, mixed. Okay, let's just leave mixed. But the thing is that okay, mixed. Yeah, we'll just leave it on mixed. The reason why I'm dithering or we thinking about it is because I don't know the strikers right now, whether they got height. If there's like players who are strong in the air, then I'll do mix. Because right now we also have underlap. I think you have an underlap on one side, if I'm not mistaken. I like the idea of an underlap instead of an overlap. Okay. Here, underlap left means this guy is always looking for runners on the inside. Instead of overlap, use the underlap. Because when you use an underlap instruction, what will happen is the player who is wide is going to hold up the ball looking for runners in front of him running, or players running past him. Right? So he's going to play the ball to them. This is why I was hesitating on the crossing instructions. I don't want low crosses in this. In this particular case, I don't want low crosses. It's either whip or mix. Because you have inside runners now. Right? So when you do a whip cross, it's more like a cross that is sent in front of the players to run onto. So those kind of crosses benefit players with very good acceleration. Low crosses, you will see like cutbacks. A lot of cutbacks, you'll see low crosses. But nah, we don't do low crosses. We only want mix or whip in this particular case. Because you have two inside runners. So anything else to change? I think that was the only thing I wanted to tweak. Overall, it's okay. So we just did a focus play down the right. Now, question is, do I want to focus play down? In fact, I will go focus play down the left, man. With the underlap and the focus, we just do it this side, right? So most of the play is gonna come this way. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with focus play down the right because you got a playmaker there, but I like the idea of putting it on the left. Does it really matter? No, I don't think it does. Set pieces look interesting. Haha, we got the wrong players in the set pieces. I mean, I'll probably do something like this instead of, why is a defender here? Never put a defender here. It's like wasting at the near post, right? This is the worst place to put defender. Don't ever put a defender here. He can be here, he can be here. But this wing back, I mean, mark tall, no. The man mark is never for central defenders. Central defenders always mark the zone, right? Yeah, you always get central defenders to mark the zone. This man mark is always for them. Man mark can be for somebody else. Mark tall for central defenders, right? Mark tall is Yeah, something like this. You can even do this is like basic, right? So this can work. On counter attacks, this guy is the guy who's gonna break away. Fastest player is here, not here. Always put the fastest player here. This is the space for the fast. He's got to dribble and score you goals. This guy is the decoy. Okay, sometimes yeah, you need somebody fast here, but this is the guy who's gonna score you the goals. Okay. You don't need so many man markers. Is what we call blockers in the game of football, right? So these guys are blockers. You can put one here, and you can have one blocker here, and that's about it. Yeah, this can work. Okay. I mean, I rather have like a wing back free, and then this guy come here, and then put a wing back here. Okay. So another reason why I do it this way is called something called reset. When you lose the ball, the team goes into a reset, so to get ready for the next wave, the next thing that they do. So you don't want players in very weird positions, because then when you do a reset, the defender is on your left defender is on the right side of the pitch, your right defender is on the left side of the pitch, your wing back is somewhere else. You don't want that. You want your shape to be. You don't want your team to take too long to get back into its shape, right? So we just tweak the set. The set pieces are all wrong. Yeah. Those set pieces are going to get into trouble. So what else can you? I mean, okay, we're gonna change this role. I mean, I'm gonna stick to what I wanted earlier. So we're gonna go advance forward on attack. Okay, this is no, better still, deep line forward support. Okay, this guy drops into the pocket, creating space for these two. He literally vacates the premises now. You can do DLF on attack as well if you want. Then he becomes a 3-prong attack. That's all. But could you use that as a way of developing weak foot once like this? So weak foot development comes from training technique. That's all. And then you play him on that side. You play him on that other side. But you need to have your general training must incorporate technique. Otherwise, the foot never develops. Or it does develop over time, I guess. But yeah. But it's going to take you a very long time. I mean, who wants their strikers? How long do you wait for your striker to develop his foot before scoring? I'd rather just play the striker on his preferred side. Anyway, don't forget, right? Developing a foot, right, eats into a player's CA. How many attribute points do you think your players have? And it's not a small bit, no. It's quite a hefty chunk that you get that gets consumed by training feet. Okay, what else can we do? Standard, okay. What's wrong with this picture? Okay, we're gonna do this. Okay. Alright, change it to fairly narrow instead of wide. I mean, the thing is that most of your thrust is not coming from the flanks. It's actually coming from the center, right? So I'm gonna keep the ball central. Like every time, look inside for the first pass, like this. That's what I want to see. Okay, inside, not out first. He goes inside again. Right? He's gonna go inside again. That's what we want to see. Okay. When you do wide, they go wide and then they look for crosses. I don't think you need that, so go inside again. That's why I went and changed your passing to narrow instead of wide, right? Because wide, now look at how advanced DLF went. So it's the movement is a lot better now. The challenge with 3-4-2-1, so this kind of tactics is that you got to think about all that these small little things when you create your tactics. Okay, now I'm going to add one last piece. Well, I want to win this game, right? So, okay. Guess what? Complete wingback on attack. Complete wingback on attack. I'll remove this stay wider. Just close down more is okay, I guess. Okay, then we're gonna turn these guys into stopper duties. You don't need wider. Don't need wider. And then I'm gonna turn this guy into a cover. Alright. Now my wing backs are like wingers. So now this is just me trying to get a win, right? Why do I want to sit back? I'm now just pushing for looking for goals. Because this wing backs now are gonna be here. So we can keep putting pressure on the defense. So that's basically it, right? With this tactic. We're getting our chances, that's for sure. So these are all the kinds of options that you have here. But I'll change this guy to DLF so we can punch through with these two roles. The Shadow Striker AMA, the AMA can be a Trequartista. This guy can be a Trequartista as well. So you have two tactics, I think. Why doesn't it want to remember? Ever since the Windows update, I really hate this current Windows update. And Windows is trying to be more and more like Mac, man, right now. Same principle, same thing. I'll probably remove this. I mean, you can go underlap definitely because you're gonna do, but it's too. There's not too much different from this tactic and the last tactic, except you're going for generic roles. Now, when you want to use generic roles, you just have to pay attention to your players, right? That's all. I would stick with the first tactic that you put in, right? It's okay. I don't see anything wrong with it. But when you use this tactic, you got to look at the two players that you have. I don't know if you have the players for this, but ideally what you want is two players who can win the ball, right? Again, you're going to be faced with the same challenges, right? So again, you're going to change this role. There's nothing wrong with two generic roles. We can have a standard defensive line, high line of engagement. You can play like this as well. When you do this, these guys are going to be you might get pulled out of shape quite easily. So I'll go like standard defensive line. High line engagement is fine. This is a bigger area to defend. But a lot of teams are going to find it hard to work their way through the middle anyway. So yeah. Again here, advance forward or poacher move into channels. Yeah. This role I'm very tempted to use Trequartista here. If you're going to use generic, then go Trequartista here. Be quite funky. And then you will have to decide in games when to unleash these two. I most likely will go wingbacks, these two on attack duties, because I'll put two really strong players who can win the ball. Basically, it's almost the same tactic, right? So we will avoid, yeah, it's almost the same. There's no difference. I mean, it depends on the players that you have. I would stick to the first version of your tactic for the players that you have. For the second version, it really depends on the players. Yeah, because whenever you use generic roles, you got to be very, very careful. Okay, next one. What do we have? Okay. Pole position. Wow, okay. Let's just watch this, right? Okay. I think in this particular case, hold position may not be a good idea. Because you're very defensive. This is like a hoof the ball up and hope for the best kind of tactic. There's no point asking them to stay wider. Because you see, the thing is this, right? Your tactic has got nobody in front. Right? So your stay wider only helps you in a transition when you want to move the ball up the pitch. But when you lose the ball, that stay wider instruction also affects your when you're defending, right? So because you have no DM, I would definitely not use Stay Wider. Because your defenders can be pulled out of position, so I would remove it unless you're playing with a DM. Yeah. Oh, 4-2-3-1 is king, man. I totally agree with you. 4-2-3-1 is king. 4-2-3-1 and 4-4-2 are kings. Both of them. The 4-2-3-1 and the 4-4-2 are both kings. I like the 4-2-3-1 and I like the 4-4-2. Okay, DM support Volante, wingback auto. Okay, let's just play. I'm still like, why auto? Hertha Berlin. We're about to find out whether you can handle Champions League action with this team. Poacher is good in a two-man setup, not on their own. Yeah, Poacher is always nice in a two-man striker setup. Like you got target man Poacher, DLFS Poacher. Then you got somebody in the box all the time, right? So, yeah. But on its own, then when other, like in a 4-3-3, you use a Poacher, what's going to happen is, it sometimes is okay, I guess. I mean, I know some people have made it work. They get like 40 goal scorers coming from Poachers because their striker that they have is very, very strong in the air as well. Their Poacher is an all-rounder. But when you don't have a very good player and you put him as a Poacher, then he's just holding defenders back. There we go. I like your wingbacks on auto are not going very fast, so they're acting like a security blanket. Right, so the striker gets the ball, or off he goes. Okay, why did he do that? Advance forward attack, hit early cross, focus play to the middle, positive mentality, went straight for goal. Okay, then we have to look to see whether he's got any other supporting cast members around him. Let's see now. Inside, yeah, no, only a shadow striker. Okay, this one is you just have a punchy center, that's all, right? So in this tactic, what we have is a punchy center, somebody punching through the middle. So you see this Jones, your Jones is here, and you got your two players coming through the middle. So here we go, right? Here we go, 1, 2. Look at what happens to your shadow striker here. Okay. So your AF is just, I mean, I don't know why I was looking at the team in white just now, but your team is the one in black. Okay, there we go. Sometimes they'll end up in the same zones, no? I'll show you. See this? They're holding their hands and going, let's get to the box together. Yes, when do I see you there? No, we'll just get there together. Just hold my hand and we'll walk into the box together. That's what happens when you have a Shadow Striker AF playing together. There we go. Then I get into the box. Then this is when you want the Shadow Striker and the AF to start pulling the defenders apart. But because your tempo is very high, there's not much time to do that. Okay, let's boom boom. Drop the tempo now. Your wingbacks are gonna stay back a lot, right? They're not gonna do much, right? So if that's what you want them to do, then it's fine. See, this wingback is just here. This is the guy is running forward, right? He's just behind him. He doesn't even go past him. Look at that, right? Wingback is here. This wingback is okay. Maybe this wingback is Nuno Mendes, right? He's got traits. Rasibola gets forward whenever possible. So he's gonna move forward, right? So this guy knocks ball past ball, so he's got no traits. So that's why explains why they're behaving differently. So we'll just do it. Oi. Wait. Whoever is that? Okay. What's this AML? So we change it to Hamza Masudi. Whoever you are, you're getting a chance to play. See, wing back. Alright. What we're gonna do is we're gonna drop this. Come in. See, okay, the problem with this tactic is this, right? Volante has got a lot of work to do. Shadow Striker is running off on his own, so Volante is by himself. Why don't you just get the Volante to be a bit more attacking? Punch through the middle, since this guy is literally going to hold his position, right? Because there's this big gap where the Shadow Striker is, right? So he's going to bridge the gap. So you need this player to run with the ball. Okay, so, and you got dribble less on the players. So they're not going to dribble much. So we're going to tend to dribble more. So we need somebody to link up play at the moment through the center. Because you got focus play through the middle. There we go. Now he's gone higher up the pitch. So there is an option now for the rest of the team. Because earlier we didn't have that option. By going narrow, what we've done is we're telling the opposition to come down the flanks and try and, you know, cross the ball. I'm hoping that we can win the ball. See, they're not getting much purchase, right, from their crosses. So that's actually working to our advantage. They're coming down the flanks, trying to cross the ball, but they're not getting much. So they're committing players forward. Yeah, now we got a problem. Yeah, it's still okay. Okay. The only thing I don't like about this tactic is everything happens here. Alright. So this, I mean, no idea why we have an inside forward here. Okay. I mean, what is he gonna do, right? So if you get this guy to play as an AMS, he drops. Then we don't have to worry so much. You can ask him to roam. Okay. Now we got the Volante coming up this way. We can actually ask him to be an inverted wing on attack. So we got a Volante going up this way. We got inverted wing on. This opens up this flank. That's the only danger that we have right now. But at least we have options. I mean, alternatively, this guy can attack the box, right? So we can have an inverted winger on support here, right? This guy is coming this way, so we get this guy to attack the box. Since he moves into channels as well. I played a tactic, one of the first few tactics when I made a wish. Oh, gonna have dinner? Have a good one, man, Joseph. Okay, looks a bit better now. We're getting a bit more, but now I like this movement. Okay, slightly more movement in the final third. Slightly more movement. We're controlling the match, but we actually just have to make a few more tweaks. This is fine. Okay, we'll do this. Since you're not asking your defenders to go up the pitch, right? Okay. Your defenders aren't going up the pitch anyway, right? Your wingbacks on auto, remember? Your wingbacks aren't supposed to, I mean, you got them set to be like, don't go too high up the pitch. So just do it differently, right? Because your higher defensive line encourages those wingbacks to be closer to the midfield, but you got two DMs there, so yeah. I mean, I'll tweak it slightly like that. Like, okay, maybe standard line of engagement. Ooh, that was a silly goal. That was bad. What happened here? Yeah, no, that's my bad then. Okay. Because if you want to do something like direct passing and you want to try and break teams, right? Okay, wait, let's do it differently. You can do it like this. Okay. Low crosses, we do a mix. Okay. All right. 1, 2, counter press. I'm going to try and hit them. Pass into space. Okay. Well, we're trying to get a goal back right now. Auto. We got these two guys attacking. Roam from position, close down, more tackle harder. If I make him a Trequartista, it'll drop. Help us link up play, and then I can pull a DM out of position as well. Okay. I want to see whether we can score a goal. Because we gotta get high up the pitch, right? The Trequartista helps us pull our entire attack up. Because the problem is when you play two DMs and you got wingbacks on auto, we're not getting a lot of players involved in attacks except for the front four. That's it. So I want to try and pull a few, like get my two, like my DM and my Volante more involved, which is the reason why I'm using a Trequartista. Because the Trequartista drops deep, so he offers a passing option to those players. Then we get them moving up the pitch. And our wingbacks are still relatively safe. We're playing with a standard defensive line. Yeah. So we get natural overlaps as well. So it's okay. It looks a lot better now. Yeah, this is how I set your tactic up. The movement looks a lot better now. Pity we're 2-1 down. You'll play very defensive against me. Three. There's nothing wrong with three Trequartistas. Kind of funky. The thing is this, right? I like this option better because it's got Volante. He pushes out. It's like a box-to-box midfielder. You got inverted winger who might, between these three, you might get a chance to unlock this side of the pitch. So we got Sal Marina. Off the ball is 6. Use of Volante now. Yeah, just speed things up. I think we've all been on comprehensive for a long time. Yeah, I'm happy with the tactic now. I mean, yeah, we played quite well, but it took us a while to figure things out. Only thing I'm not really big fan of wingbacks on auto here. I go like, they're not, they can work, okay? They can work, definitely can work. Oh, it hits the post. We almost made it back into the game, man. But it's been us all the way now. We've just turned this match around. Right. We definitely didn't deserve to lose that game. Now, this is what happens when you keep changing tactics. Okay, alright. Wait, let me see. Do we have any more tactics? Can we go to the general public? Yep, we done all of those. So I'm gonna take a look at some of the other tactics that you guys submitted. Just let me check this. See whether we got any more. Oh, we got Jahid's tactic. Got a few. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Holy cow. We got 6 more to go look at. Alright, download. Wow, okay. Let's look at the clock. Okay. Alright. And then file requests. Bring your tactics. We got 4 tactics that came in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We got not really. Okay, so after this, no more tactics. We're not gonna look at any more. We're not looking at any more tactics after this. Just gonna look at all these tactics only. As usual, we're just waiting for the thing to, refresh itself. Yeah, I saw that. You also find it hard to bring down 442. I love the 442. Yeah, I'm making I'm playing a 442 for tomorrow. Either a 442, 4231. Yeah, one of those 2 tactics. I'm playing for tomorrow's draft mode. I tell you straight off the bat, right? It's either a 442 or 4231. I'm not playing with another one of my my asymmetric tactics has been very strong. Very, very strong in draft mode, but I'm like bored of playing asymmetric. Okay. Alright, so we got first up downloads. We're gonna open this one up first. Extract files. Wait, hold on. Let's be a bit more organized, right? Run. Okay, sorry. You can see it, that's why. Okay, so okay. Okay, first one. Dale attack. 442 DM. Okay, let's play this. No, doesn't look bad. Looks pretty interesting. I like the tactic. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're not gonna holiday mode, right? We're just gonna keep reloading the save at a certain date so it moves a bit faster. Or yeah, we can. We just play one after the other. Once I see the clock inching towards kickoff, right, then we'll speed things along, and then we just load the same save over and over again, or we just talk about the tactics themselves. We still got a few more tactics to look at, right? So we got these tactics. I haven't extracted them yet. Those are the 5. So we got 10 tactics. I'm trying to cover 10 tactics in the next 45 minutes. So we're gonna be fast. Naturally, I'm prioritizing the guys on Discord first. Alright, so then after that, once we're done, the guys on Discord will do the rest. Okay, so looking at this tactic, DLF, AF, inverter winger going to say nice. I like this. The inverter winger is attacking the space, the DLF is vacating it. You got Volante. Here, probably, you could do with a kind of a Register in one of these positions. So Volante maybe here, Register maybe here. So that you get somebody looking to play those passes. Alternatively, you want somebody here who's got a killer pass. Or is like a playmaker kind of Volante. Right? Otherwise, you will see that those attacks are not happening. Right? A really good combination in a 4-4-2 DM is like the DM a Register Volante. Now that's a good combination. So you get like a playmaker and a box-to-box starting from deeper positions. Because you are, after all, playing a 4-4-2. Right? You're just telling the 2 central midfielders to start from deeper positions. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with playing like a Register in that position. So, we've conceded right again. Please don't make me look at set pieces again. I don't know why we've got strikers man marking. Why is he here? What? Don't ask, never ask a defender to man mark somebody in set pieces. And 3-man marking is always overkill. Have one go back. You want some zonal, some man marking, but you don't want everybody man marking, right? So, right. So don't do this. This is like overkill, right? You don't need all of them man marking. It's like you just need in most setups, you just need, like, if you got very good tall defenders, you just need 2 of them in the 2 spots, right? Far post and near post. Right? If you're not sure whether your players can do it, then you can even put fullbacks to support them, right? So near post, far post covered. And then after that, to block the runners, you just need 2 man markers. It doesn't matter who. Just get somebody who's decent in marking to mark the blockers. That's it. Okay. So you get 2 guys man marking the blockers. They can be decent man markers. Then at the edge of the area, you got 2 positions. You got the first edge of area and the second edge of area. The second edge area, always put your fastest player with dribbling there. That's where he goes, right? The other one in front is the second fastest guy, the one that can finish. So that's how you want to set things up. Okay, so this is not a bad setup. I mean, I've done DM Volante many times. You can also go register Volante as well. I mean, this tactic is fine out of the gate. The only thing that was wrong with this tactic were the set pieces. I mean, I'm basically gonna have to fix all the set pieces, right? Defending throw-ins as well. Edge of area. You don't need 2 forward. They have another edge of area. And then set pieces are like the bane of everybody. I mean, most people get their set pieces wrong. You can do this like this. You can even set it up like that. It's perfectly okay, right? Here, the set pieces, definitely you want somebody here jumping reach, right? So you want the guy with the best jumping reach in this position. Yeah, you can even tell him to mark tall. Yeah, this guy marking a tall player. So this is your set piece throw in, right? Set piece throw in again. Have one guy here. This guy is marking tall. That's all. That's it. All right, edge of area got 2 in case you want to block the long. If you end up playing with a guy like me, you want this setup. The person who's taking advantage of short throw-ins. If you want to counter somebody who's playing short throw-ins, then you have 2 edge of areas. But your throw-in, we consider a goal because the throw-in setup was wrong. Otherwise, your tactic is actually quite fine. Right? There's nothing I would change about this tactic. I mean, DM on D is very safe, right? It's extremely safe. It can be a support duty, but there's nothing wrong with this. Seriously. So here we can have a Volante DMD. You can even go, you want to be bold and beautiful, you can go register. This can be a register. This is like asking for trouble, right? So let's go ask for trouble right now. Okay. Let's go ask for trouble. This is asking for trouble. If you have a good team, right? You're asking for trouble. Why? Because you have a very aggressive center. You got a playmaker, you got a volante, a guy who's going to carry the ball through the lines. So you have a 4-4-2 that's got a very punchy center. So the regista is going to be like a playmaker, the volante. This is aggressive. So the only thing that was wrong with this tactic, out of the gate, were the set pieces. You fix the set pieces, you're golden. DLF, AF is fine. Inverted winger, you see the ratings are 6.9. That's not too bad. Now, if you had gone with the earlier option, right, which is this, right? Just now you had this option, which is a volante on support, right? And then you had a DM, right? On defense. I might have thought about doing this. Now, instead, I have these guys. Basically, what I've done is a pretty flexible attack where I'm just, depending on these guys to give us attacking options. Now, instead of doing all that, I don't do player or defense. I will never play player or defense if I have this kind of setup because it's too risky. Instead, I want the keeper to not even do this, right? So just leave it like this, keep it simple, and keeper is just gonna sometimes go to this area so I can actually do this with the flanks. So the keeper just goes to the flanks because I got extra players on the flanks. Yeah, I got a fullback, I got an inverted winger, I've got a DM, right? So every flank has got 3 players there. So you can actually play to the flanks and do your transitions really quickly. Definitely, this configuration can also work. Only problem is this guy is not having a good game. And another thing about wingers, right? You can play a left-footed winger here, still perform like an inverted winger. Or you can play a right-footed player and he performs like a regular winger. Wasn't too bad. The only thing wrong with this tactic was set pieces. All the set pieces, set pieces are all off, man. But overall, can still work. This tactic can work. 100% can work. Yeah, no reason why it can't work. It's not a park. This tactic isn't park the bus, but it comes close to being a park the bus tactic. So you do direct passing. You can even do pass into space, right? With this setup. Yeah, nice. I like this tactic. Very common. Very common to some of the tactics I personally play with. Boring but wins. Donnell. Let's see this. I love this. Right? Somebody says their tactic is boring, but it keeps winning. Hey, Risky, how are you, man? Okay, now we're playing Granada. So once again, this is not my save. This is one of your... it's a community save, right? So one of you guys, your tactics or your save. We just, I'm just randomly going, okay, whatever the Yasmin gives us, we'll see what we can fix on the go. So far, we haven't lost yet, right? We lost one game. Champions League. Yeah, Champions League game. Okay, once again, I'm hoping the set pieces are correct. If the set pieces are wrong, set pieces are a very big part of Football Manager. You gotta make sure your set pieces are always spot on. Okay, let's go. Okay. Pressing forward, AM attack, punching through the middle. These two hanging about. Fine, fullback going this way, fullback attack. Okay, I like this tactic. Why? Because you got these two guys anchoring, right? Then what they're doing is they're anchoring the left and the right, and you're not using overlaps to enforce that. So that's nice. Because this means that his mentality hasn't been affected in any way, right? So he's still a very attacking mentality, and this guy is a very creative player on positive mentality. Okay, so they're always going to look for chances to be on the inside creating their chances while these guys do the natural overlaps. Overall, tactic is fine without any funky play. So all it depends is on these two players. Do I change this tactic? Nah. I might slow tempo, that's about it. The only thing I'll do with this tactic is slow tempo with ball to box. If it's not already in the tactic, that's what I would do. Because that will give this tactic a very heavy possession feel, right? So you're creating. Oh, I think he missed. Then you see the goalkeeper go. I don't know if should I stay or should I go. Should I stay or should I go? Man, the keeper was doing the dance. This indecision's bugging me. If you don't want me, shoot past me. That keeper just made me laugh, man. Okay, overall, looking at the tactic as it is, okay, playing narrow doesn't use the flanks very much, but you're building up play, right? So what we'll do is we'll do this, work ball into box, that's it. Okay, we're gonna slow the tempo down, play a bit on a standard passing so we can stretch it. Standard passing is mixed passing, right? So players, it will affect these two because right now your shorter passing is affecting them, right? So we play on standard passing. If we got the right kind of players in there with the right attributes, they will kick in. We are playing against right now we are playing against a very narrow system, right? So fine. That's it. Okay, let's throw the boot at our players. I don't know whose tactic is this anyway. Can't really tell from here. I'm not surprised. This tactic should be okay. See, I like this. Okay, when people do support duties like this, then it's screaming for these guys to get involved, right? So your players are getting involved. Now we're just looking at these players. What have you got? Hey, try skiller balls, try long range pass. What is this guy? Try killer balls. Oh yeah, we got two funky Dories inside there. So it makes sense, right? So you go standard passing. So you look at your players before you decide you change your passing meters. Because now I'm favoring my players a bit more. right? Especially those two guys in the middle, because they're not going to be smiling all the way to the bank. Because the passing is being set to mix, so it favors them. Because when you play short, it also affects them because they are generic roles, right? So they're going to be following your team passing instructions as well. Nice. Look at that. Sweet. Look at this. Build up. Look at that. Holy cow. That's so nice. That's a brilliant tactic. It's very, very nice, man. It's a very nice. Pressing forward is one of my favorites as well. This is a lovely tactic. Very nice tactic. I wouldn't change anything about this tactic except the tempo. That's it. The only thing I saw this was tempo and passing. Other than that, nothing. Champion tactic. I like 4-2-3-1s are lethal, man, in this game. You don't want to overcomplicate 4-2-3-1 so much. I mean, this is really don't overcomplicate a 4-2-3-1 and really taking it to the extreme by using generic roles. But why not, right? Nothing wrong with generic roles. This is a very nice tactic. Wow, man, this could give my 4-2-3-1 a good run for his money. I don't know whose tactic that is, man. But I have a 4-2-3-1 that I just designed today for tomorrow. I'm using all fresh tactics in my own like draft mode, right? It's tactics I haven't used before on any of the shows. It's just new tactics that I like to play with. Yeah, pressing forwards are very nice in high lines. You know why, Akeem? Because you are playing very high up the pitch, right? So those guys are always pressurizing defenders when you don't have the ball. So pressing forwards make a lot of sense in that case because you're further up the pitch. But if you play like a pressing forward and you play like a low line of engagement, then I don't know. I just never liked it. This is nice. This is a nice tactic. Boring, but it wins. Exactly. Okay, so we've got the next tactic. Japa. Who's Japa? 4-2-3-1 easily conqueror of premiership. Wow. Another 4-2-3-1. Man, you guys are into the 4-2-3-1 mood, man. Okay. Alright, I saw F9 there, right? So the thing about F9s is this, right? You want to use an F9 in a 4-2-3-1, man, you're camping inside the opponent's half all the way. So you're not looking at using things like very high lines. Your standard line of engagement is fine. Then you need a shadow striker in with the winger. Okay. Okay. Can work. Can work. Okay. When you use wider like this, you're encouraging the use of flanks. A lower line of engagement. Okay. Done. Sing song. Happy, happy. Okay. Nothing to change again. Our tactic is pretty good. Okay. So we're just going to look this very quickly. I'm going to play on key highlights. I'm not changing this tactic one single bit. It's fine. The only reason why this tactic won't do well is because you're the wrong F9. That's it. Okay. There is no need to change this. I'm not touching this tactic because this tactic is good. Okay. Because when you play with the F9, you never want to play a much higher line of engagement. You want to play low line of engagements. Because why? You are dropping back. You get the whole team dropping back. The F9 is always going to be vacating the premises, right? It's not going to be anywhere near the box. So you are actually got this center that's acting like a black hole for opposition teams, right? So they'll keep going into that black hole and then you're going to open up space for these guys to attack. The guys on the left. I like this setup. Low line engagement is fine. Oh, this 4-4-2 is going to struggle right now. I suspect this 4-4-2 might struggle. Mazzala, ball winning midfielder. No wonder we lost the player. Again, us. Yeah. That's it. We go comment. Yeah, this tactic, there's nothing to do. I mean, like, fullback attack. The faster I go, the more dangerous it becomes for me. Okay, hold on. Let's make sure that everything is right. Counter press, counter. This is strange. Why don't you want to counter? Because you got a low line of engagement. Air counter. Okay. If anything, right, I will remove counter press. If anything, I'll remove counter press. It's counter I want, not counter press. Right. If that one instruction I remove, because you got low line of engagement, then you don't have counter press on. It's like, okay. because what is going to happen is there's going to be a bit of weird things happening in the final third because of your low line engagement, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to flip it. Instead of counter press, taking or remove counter press, add counter. So now what you got is you got a black hole tactic. I call this a black hole tactic. Why? Because you're sitting deep, you're inviting teams to hit you, and then the moment your players get the ball, they pull them even deeper, right? So there you get all this space opening up for your players out there to attack, and this other team is just losing the plot completely. First they break our players' leg, then they lose the hits. Okay, kickoff is in 30 minutes time. I'm seriously meaning it, guys. There's a hard stop at 9. Okay, I will not miss the Euros. I'm not missing the Euros, man. Yeah, not because I don't like it, but we are trying to finish as many tactics as we can. We might just have to go through some of the tactics, just looking at the tactics. So I'll try and cover all the tactics as I can. So we're gonna do as many as I can. Okay, this tactic is fine. Let's go commentary mode. Okay, seriously, this is fine. Like, it's a black hole of death, man. I love this tactic. Because F9 drops here, Shadow Striker goes, hey, thanks for the space. Then this guy goes, oh, I got space too now. I don't see anything wrong with this tactic. Like, brilliant. I love this. Okay, just remove this. That's it. You got a winner. Just don't use this against me, man. I'll try replacing AF in tactics with PF in more interchange. Yeah, move. Pressing forwards are good in the 4-2-3-1s, right? Soul striker systems, right? It just doesn't mean you have to have him move into channels. You just ask yourself why you want the player to move into channels, right? This F9 is lovely. I like the way the F9 interacts with the Shadow Striker. Yeah, this tactic died, man, against this system. The more the wingbacks come up the pitch, the more you're gonna destroy this team. Okay. Once again, not my save. This save belongs to you guys. All right, let's see now. We got other tactics to look at, so we're gonna do this reasonably fast. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Risky. I'm sorry, man. We won't be able to look at your tactic. We'll try to look at all these tactics that we've just received, right, guys? Champions group. Okay. This is the last game we play. All right. Then we're gonna start looking at all the other tactics. Okay. Alright. We got Hexat 4-2-3-1 Grasshopper, another 4-2-3-1 tactic. PF inverted winger, another one. I like this. See, this again, right? Makes a lot of sense. Hangs about, goes around the corner, goes around the camel's ass, and then gets into goal. Fine. Aggressive, yeah. Do I need to play this tactic? It works, man. Slightly shorter, tight tempo. Okay. Very quickly, we go on. For this tactic, you don't have to change anything. I mean, I'm not going to look at... If set pieces become an issue, it's probably because they weren't set up correctly. Okay, so... This is the last game, right? So we're going to save it. In case we need to play again, we play the same game again. Alright, Leo, that's a very good tactic, man. Is DLF good in counter-attacking tactic? Yes, it is. If you have a Shadow Striker playing off him, right? Okay, look, counter-attacking tactics is all about hitting teams on the break. If you want to play a DLF, you're playing him as part of a 2-striker setup, right? Or DLF and a Shadow Striker. That's how you want to play it, right? But on his own, no. On his own, if it's a Soul Striker, you don't want to do that. Depend on... I like counter-attacking tactics to have an AF, personally speaking. AF or pressing forward. Why? Because these guys are just gonna zoom in and goal. Okay. Okay, that's it. Okay. We're on commentary mode, guys. This is how confident I am this tactic is gonna work. Why? Because these fullbacks on attack, they're gonna flood the flanks, right? So we don't have to do much. If you've got 2 CMs, all we need to worry about these 2 CMs is their traits. That's it. If their traits are good, you're golden. If their traits are bad and their attributes are bad, we're in trouble. So what we pay attention to is all this, like tackling, anticipation, all this. Not ball, but not a problem. So that's all we pay attention to. So you look at that. doing well. Now, if you want them to get more involved in the game, then all you got to do is come in here and change this. That's it. But because he's playing on very narrow, so everyone's coming in close. There's a lot of movement in his tactic, which is going to be focused because of the focus play through the flanks. These guys are going to shift to the sides to support play. Here, this role is fine, AMA. You definitely want to attack duty here. You don't want a shadow, you don't want a support duty in this particular case. Alright, this is perfect because of this. This is the only time I will go like, okay, fine, you know, don't need a support duty here because you got these two attacking duties going now. Going by the, you know, by coming up the flanks. What the hell is wrong with me today? This is like my buy-in tactic. It's safer, right? Yeah, okay. This is very easy because the attribute, the CA for this tactic is very low. Yeah, you have no funky dory fella like a Trequartista, right? Complete forward, right? Maybe the only roles here, maybe the inside forward in the inverted winger, but even then, the CA cost of those two is not very high. So this can work with a lot of teams, It's total domination. So all I did was we went on commentary mode because I don't see the point in like playing and showing you the transitions because the tactic is fundamentally very, very strong, very, very sound. Kickoff is in 30 minutes time. Okay, we just gotta do this though. All right. Tactics. Okay, well, let's look at the next tactic. Mid block diamond. Oh, this is interesting. No, okay. Mass Trequartista, you might have problems because you're asking for a lot of this tactic. Like the bar is just when we just talked about the bar being low on one tactic. This tactic's bar is very high. Because you're gonna have a hard time finding players with this. Trequartista, complete forward, advance forward, Mezzala on attack. You know, this is like a tactic that demands a lot of good players, right? Mezzala coming here is nice for this wingback. So why isn't the wingback bombing up the pitch? You want this wingback bombing up the pitch, right? So you got a Mezzala. You don't need a Mezzala to be on attack. Just put him on support. You don't want your flank to open up too much because you want them to be the anchor tenants in midfield, right? Okay, so that your fullbacks get to bomb down the pitch. Most diamonds, right? The reason why most diamonds fail is because these two guys aren't attacking so much. So you want these guys to bomb down the pitch as much as they can. Focus play to the middle is definitely not the thing to do. What you want to do is you actually want to focus play down the flanks. Why? Because you want these wingbacks always to have passing options, right? So you want the players to shift to the flanks. Every time they get the ball, they will shift slightly to the flanks, so there's more passes happening on the flanks. When that happens, you get a lot of options going forward. Now, here, this role can easily become like a shadow striker, right? It's easier to fill. If you want to play a Trequartista, there's nobody is going to stop you from playing a Trequartista, okay? Only thing about Trequartista is you don't need a Trequartista because all the players are very in close proximity. You're getting to drop deep is just a funky thing you want to see happening, right? So you can definitely play advanced midfielder on attack. It lowers the bar for you somewhat, right? Makes it easier to find players. Then here you got a complete four. If you have a complete four for this role, this is saying do you have Harry Kane in your side? If you don't have Harry Kane in your side, go for a pressing forward on attack. He also moves into the channels. You get the same kind of thing. He moves into the channels, right? This guy moves into the channels. Attacking midfielder can punch through. Now you got these three who are going to be attacking a lot. Alternatively, you can play something really simple. Can go to a DLF on support. Why is this another option? Because sometimes you want vertical movement. Vertical movement happens when there's a support duty and attack duty and this guy attacking. So this guy still moves into the channel. He might drop off here. Attacking midfielder takes over. Right. Now there are two wingbacks going up and down the pitch. They are just going to give you the width you need and they're probably going to get involved in all of the attacks. Counter press. Affects. You see, what happens when you do a counter press is all these players start pushing up, trying to win the ball. But they're going to try and win the ball if you lose the ball at the center, right? But they also might get pulled out of position to the flanks. So the question is, do you really need this instruction, right? I would probably say no. I'll just uncheck this and just play a counter. So it's a bit safer with a 4-4-2 diamond. Higher defensive line, much lower line of engagement. This is the reason why I didn't see this, but now that I've removed that instruction, it is a lot better. Because if you wanted to play a soak it and hit it, just be a lower line of engagement. You can play a standard defensive line and do this instead. Force your opposition outside. So basically what happens is you're telling the opposition players, hey, come down my flanks, which is going to happen anyway, right? They're coming down your flanks. So why do you want them to do anything else? Let them come down your flanks. These guys are going to go to the sides to help you close down a bit more. And what's going to happen is you will get a bit more security, right? So don't go much lower line. Then they're just going to, I don't see the point. This is just nice, right? And then what you do is here you got pass into space, direct, fine, and you don't play, and it just becomes a counter-attacking tactic. Here, okay, because this guy is holding position, right? If you wanted to play safe, he holds position. It makes a lot of sense for this guy to bomb up the pitch. You can play wingback on support here if you're not so sure, right? So you go like, I want to play it a bit more safer. This is a much more safer way of setting it up. They got this wingback bombing out the pitch. You got this guy holding his position. A Mazzala is going to come here to support play whenever this wingback comes here. This AMA will definitely drift to the left, and so will the AF. So all these players are going to drift to the left. That only opens up the question of what this role is going to be. Because if a lot of play builds up here, you want this guy attacking the box. So ultimately, it becomes like a choice, right? So you are in games, you're sometimes going DLF on support or DLF on attack. Right, this is one. You could play pressing forward support as well. That can work. This can be a real monstrous tactic like this as well. Pressing forward attack, pressing forward support. This is just one very annoying tactic because then you have all these players hounding the opposition line, the defenders when they get the ball, right? So this is another option you can have. They both work. But if you want to set it up, you can set up these are all the configurations you can set it up in. Okay. Now let's look at the next tactic. Hakan Toulouse. Okay. Oh, strikeless. Hey, I've seen this tactic before. Okay, here this guy should be just a simple. Okay, he can be a register, he can be a roaming playmaker. I get what you're trying to do here. This guy is slingshotting. Mazzala going this way, Mazzala going this way, supporting play the complete. This is the only role here. Don't play libero, it won't work. Play a central defender on cover, that's all. The reason why the libero won't work, right? The reason why a libero won't work here is because you got a roaming playmaker in front. If you have a roaming playmaker in front of libero is just coming up the pitch, basically messing around. So you're not going to get a lot of love. So you want to play just a central defender on cover. Here, the only thing here is you might want to have an anchor tenant, which is a player that doesn't move around too much. Okay, a roaming playmaker might drift and open up pockets of space for the opposition. But you need a playmaker here. The only question is what kind of playmaker do you want? If you have the player for it, a roaming playmaker is fine. But if you don't have that kind of player, go for DLP or support. Then it'll be fine. Now, as far as these two roles are concerned, you need them to be quite aggressive down the pitch, but it can still work. Focus play left and right. Okay. All right. When you focus play left and right, this Mazzala's kick in with this complete wing backs. Then because you're focusing play left and right, idea is to work the ball down the flanks. Oh, don't do that. No. I'm thinking aloud while I'm helping you guys out. No, leave it like this. Don't focus play. Then after that, you lose the punch in the middle. Very attacking tactic. Just make sure that you can. This is very, very aggressive, but it can work. Yeah. Work ball into box. Can. I don't see why it can't work. Maybe you change this role, one role to a Tricotista. Okay. Yeah, then you get a slight variation in your attacking pattern, so it's not very predictable. Right? If you can afford it, or AMA on attack and ask him to roam. You just want something different, right? You just want a slight variation in your attack because it's too symmetrical at the moment. Because then you get this guy attacking the box. This guy might go into these areas here. Mazala attack this way, Mazala attack this way. Yeah. Then move into channels. We'll remove that. Because Mazala is going to move into the channels. You want him to move. What the hell happens in the center, right? So, yeah. So this can work. Something like that. There are a lot of back tree tactics, man. Hey, Arif, how are you, man? So this is okay. But sometimes with this kind of a setup, you're better off doing something like this. Or playing defenders on stopper, because these guys need to go down the flanks. So you need these guys to step up and clear up the threat immediately. Stay on feet. Still tighter marking. Can standard line of engagement. Slightly higher. Higher line of engagement. Don't do standard. You don't have to go all the way. Just go to about higher line of engagement. So these guys press somewhere in the lower third area, right? So these guys press high up the pitch. You don't need to play out a defense though, this tactic. Definitely don't need to play out defense. You can also ask these two guys to go on attack duty once in a while. Yeah, but I wouldn't make too many changes to it. Alright, we got all these tactics. I'm going to download them. Sorry, I already downloaded them. Wait, hold on. I just to extract them now. Extract files, documents, sports interactive, tactics, finger tactics, bang. Okay, all right, let's take a look at the rest of the tactics that came in. All right, we got Byzantium, your tactic. 4-3-1-2, yeah, old favorite. Okay, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with this 4-3-1-2. Only reason why this kind of 4-3-1-2s don't work, right, is because you got the wrong kind of player here. Because this is like a difficult role to fill up, right? Trequartista. You need a player that's got a lot of attributes to play this role, right? But this is fine. Trequartista is going to attack the box in a DLF wicket. See, I've got a 4-3-1-2 that's exactly the same. Yeah, it can work. Focus plate on the right because you got Mazala, wingback. No, here I think this wingback should be on attack. Wingback should be on attack. And I'll probably put a wingback on attack and then I'll play a really good, strong central defender here. Here I don't think you need a DLP. Just play a CM on defense. Depend on the guys on the flanks to do all the funky work. You got a DLP behind a Trequartista. Nah. You just need somebody to just hold the position here for you and cover the area. Right? So this Mazala can still create chances for you. But you want this wingback attacking this flank because this is where your DLF is. Because once this wingback gets down the flanks, he's got this guy to aim for and this guy to aim for. So you want this wingback attacking. And that's the only thing I would change with this tactic. Otherwise, it's perfectly okay. This is the only problem. And this one, change it to CM on defense. Be more expressive, focus down the right, slightly lower tempo. Yeah, slow tiki-taka kind of passing, right? Okay. High defensive line, high line engagement. Pressing is fine. Prevent short goalkeeper distribution, maybe not necessary, but this can definitely work. Can definitely work. Yep. That's all I would do. I'll just change this role and just change this role. All right, next one. Boring but wins. Hey, hang on. We've seen this before. Boring but wins is an easy tactic to remember. Goosebumps. F9. Nah. This guy drops a lot. Then you got a poacher inside. Oh, this is like. Okay, this flank, right, can afford to be very attacking. Yeah, the reason why is because of this DM, right? But if you want all the goals to come from me, okay, I'll give you a really new idea, okay? Yeah, this make this a bit interesting. Put a white playmaker here. Tell him he's already sitting narrow, right? He's gonna come into this position along with this guy. They're gonna look for him. This guy becomes a DLF on support. He just drops. He doesn't do anything funky. He just drops. This guy's gonna attack the box. The poacher is gonna be in and around the box, right? Okay. You might have a problem with the poacher taking up too much space. So ask him to be a pressing for attack. Keeps the defenders occupied. This guy drops off. This guy attacks the box. You got these two guys playing passes into this pocket, right? And this guy, this role can follow them. He can be a wingback. So you get an overlap left. You don't need an overlap. I just remove the overlap. Because an overlap with this guy attacking doesn't make sense, because you are basically curtailing the inverted wingers' offensive output by asking them to stay. You know, hold on, wait for somebody to pass you by, then you can take over. No, don't. Just don't do that. Yeah. So this is fine. This as it is. Use title marking. Stella again. I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to hit teams on a break. You can actually play on a slightly higher mentality if you want. But this can definitely work. This is an interesting combination, because what will happen here is these guys are going to unlock this side of the pitch. So you can also play on wider settings. You can drop your tempo to this. And that's it. Simple. Easy can peasy. These two will unlock this side of the pitch. And this, I will go with pressing forward, advance forward, poacher last. Right? I'm not a big fan of the poacher. Not like this. If you want to play a poacher, then what you do is you do this. Target man on attack. Poacher. Now this is a brilliant combination. They're in the box all the time. They're creating all kinds of havoc, right? So this guy is always trying to, hit the ball down for this player. Or you can play target man on support and poacher. If you want to play a poacher, this is a nice combination. You can still work with this inverted winger. Right? Because then this poacher is always going to be a problem for defenders. Right? They cannot, it's a very simple counter-attacking setup. If you use a poacher like this, this is one way of using him, right? So then you have like F9 and poacher, no. Well, F9 is gonna just go and have bad ratings for you at 24/7. Okay, next tactic. We got Ken Chan. Wow, if I can only read the Chinese characters, man, I can barely make them out. Yeah, ma, wow, 这个是什么？子 Oh man, my Chinese is so poor. I know this is, I think this is, can't remember, man. My Chinese is so bad now. I can't read these characters. This is, yeah, I give up, don't know. My wife would be so happy that I can't read it. Apparently that's how I impressed her mother the first time around. I read Chinese in the house. Like some Chinese sign was up and I read it and the mother straight away said, marry the boy. Apparently he knows more Chinese than you. Okay, alright, but that was a long time ago. Wide midfielder, central midfielder attack, DM attack, ball field, CD or stopper, okay. What is that? Again, when I look at this kind of tactics, I'm asking myself, what's wrong with this tactic? Nothing. This is similar to what Jovan used to beat me in PvP, right? He used a similar setup and beat the crap out of me in PvP. He had Neymar playing here. Was it Neymar or somebody? Neymar playing here. DLF on support, advanced forward works. This guy's going to enter the pocket when he's got space. CM attack comes this way. DLP on support is holding his position. DM is protecting this place. Stopper. Everything this tactic makes sense. Right? There's nothing I would change. This is actually a good tactic. Counter, regroup. Force opposition inside. Get stuck in. If you're playing against friends, remove this. If you're playing against AI, take this out. Increase the pressing urgency. Force opposition inside. You're asking them to play here. No, don't do this. Do this instead. Force our opposition outside. What will happen is these guys are going to track back. These guys are going to track back, right? Once they drop, right? If you got three solid central defenders, they're going to win the ball in the air. Then when you do the counter attack, it's just a lot more better. I wouldn't do it the other way. The other way means when you do this, these guys are not going to tackle. These guys are just going to try and tackle, and then you're forcing them to the middle. But if you end up with these guys tackling, then your DLP is doing a lot of defensive work instead of offensive output. What you want your DLP to do is be free for the counter attack, right? So if you draw them in and you win the ball, if you got solid defenders here, then it reaches one of these players, the ball reaches one of these players, you golden. Play our defense. Again, I probably go standard passing instead of shorter passing, because You got things like hit early crosses, so play standard. On higher tempos, this makes more sense. So you don't waste a lot of time with shorter passes. You play very punchy attacks. So this could be one way of setting it up. But overall, I wouldn't change anything else. Because you got wide midfield here who's going to sit narrow, so it protects this guy. Maybe I would do cross more often, stay wider. I'll add closing down more. That's all. But I've already increased the pressing, right? So that's fine. Tackle harder, I will remove on these guys, just in case you pick up yellow cards, right? You can always, you already have it here, get stuck in. This doesn't make them tackle extra hard, FYI. Yep. Make sure that you have your best defender is actually this guy, the one with the best anticipation. Other than that, it's fine. Yeah, I just would tweak just one or two things only in the tactic. R442 Byzantium. Oh, 442. Oh no, double Volantes, not such a good idea, especially when your wingbacks are attacking like this. Inverted wingers are attacking like this. This is just overlap left, overlap right. Just gonna. This, yeah, you got two flanks that are going up very hard, but then you also increase the mentality and you're trying to use overlap like a kind of a positional tool. Won't really help you very much here. I would just remove this, okay. I would probably, if you want your wingbacks, turn this one guy into a anchor, like a DM or support, or even a register. Okay, turn this guy to register volante. Okay, you can have wingbacks on attack. Oh, sorry. What you can do is just one support duty, one attack duty. Where's the register? Register is here, right? Okay, these two guys will combine to release this guy. This guy drops, this guy attacks the space. Okay, what has happened now is we've got this guy dropping because he's a complete forward support. He's going to roam all over the place, right? So we got inverted winger attacking this way. We got register and inverted winger together. They might unlock this player. Alternatively, this guy goes down the flanks when you're camping, right? So this moves up. He goes inside. This guy becomes the third striker. This guy goes around. Nah, wingback on support. Yeah, I'll do that this way. Volante, I'll do it like this. Wingback on support. It becomes a bit more possession centered, right? Instead of just like, you know, all these attack duties on the flanks. Much higher defensive line basically told these guys to go conquer the world, right? You don't need that. Just high defensive line is still okay. Offside trap very wonky in FM21. Why do I remove my offside trap? Because it also kicks in set pieces and does all kinds of strange shit in set pieces. So remove it. I just think that it's broken. Right? I really think offside trap is broken in FM. Okay, so you can do this highline engagement. You can do this as well, much higher line engagement. There's no difference. Okay, this higher defensive line is okay when you're using two DMs. These guys are going to do a lot of pressing in the pitch. Get stuck in. Do this instead. Force your opposition outside. You can also do something else. You can do this as well. Force your opposition inside, which is, you know, where you got two DMs. But this is problematic because you want these two guys to be a bit more creative, right? So you do this instead, right? So you encourage teams to go down your flanks. You beat them with crosses, and then sweeper, keeper, ball play, defender, register, volante, and they look up the pitch for attacking options. Yep. Inverted winger this way, register. This guy can actually be a winger or a... If this guy comes in, this guy comes in. There is an argument for these two guys to come in with these two on support duties, right? But that is because of a very complicated 4-4-2 DM system. It can work, but it won't work against a lot of teams because a lot of teams are going to sit back in defense. By the time you get your team up in attack, there's no space. Yeah, I'm less like 自爆 self-destruct. I got the 自 correct. 爆, that's 爆, is it? Okay. I didn't realize it was 爆 though. Tao, I thought it was Tao. You know, like Tao, the knife, right? That's what I thought it was. But I wasn't sure. I got it right. But Tao. I was a Pao. Okay, Pao. Okay. I'm not a big... I'm not going to say this is going to work. Okay, it's going to struggle in all games, right? This guy going around, this guy attacking. Okay, this guy attacking this space. This guy just supporting us. Still doesn't work. I'm struggling to see how to make, because definitely no inverted winger go this. You won't see inverted wingers go in here, take over the space from these two guys. It won't work. Not in this game. In this game, that's never happening, right? Okay, because by the time your inverted wingers get up the pitch, the whole team is defending. Yeah, so you can't play like that. You gotta think of this as a 4-4-2, right? You have to think of it as a 4-4-2. So how are you gonna make space with a 4-4-2? So the obvious one is you go inverted winger on support. These two guys become fullbacks on attack. Or wingbacks on attack, right? It can be wingback on attack, it can be fullback. Now, you got a camping tactic, right? This guy's gonna attack the center. You got two roles here that roam, right? You can have a advanced forward attacking, central midfielder on support, this guy roams. Now you've got wingbacks going this way, one guy going this way, this guy sitting into this area. You got these two guys looking to create something. But still you still don't get a lot of purchase. Wait, hold on. I rather have one side. You want to create some width in your tactic. So you go winger on attack. Okay, now it makes sense. Yeah, now this guy drops, this guy goes on the flank, this guy arrives into the box. This guy becomes a wingback on support, this guy becomes an inverted winger on attack. This guy becomes a volante on support. And this guy becomes a register. Alright, okay. So what we now have is a wingback supporting player, volante not too far from the inverted winger. Inverted winger ends up going this way, right? Okay, attacking the box. So what we have is a second striker arriving behind the AF. Complete forward dropping off, winger giving you the width. Okay. This guy can be just a wingback on support. That's it. Bang. Yeah. Then you can also have like a target man here. If you want a simple attacking pattern. Target man on support, then you just tell this did I go wingback? No, this guy is wingback on support. Yeah, that's it. This is how I change your tactic. Just make it a lot more easier to understand. Right, where this guy is giving you the width, this guy is coming inside, he's becoming the second striker when he arrives in the box, because that's what an inverted winger will do. So will a winger on attack, right? On this side, when I'm attacking this way, if this will happen when we're camping, this winger is going to become a second striker, because a target man on support vacates the premises, but he's going to be always going to be an option for us on the counter, right? So yeah, ELF on support, advanced forward. But these are some of the options. But I will go with something like a register, volante, DM, volante, but definitely not volante. Yeah, I will go like, I like PF as well. I like PFs in this game. Pressing forwards are pretty good in Football Manager. Yeah. Okay, guys. That is, I don't know whether we got one more tactic. Do we have one more tactic? That has to be the last one, man. I can't do it anymore. Kickoff is coming anytime. Last tactic, okay? Kickoff is going to happen soon, man. 4-4-2. DLF, AF, inverted winger, box to box, DLP. Nice. Nice. Okay. I get this. This I get. I've run this before also. This is when I create a fulcrum on the right, to launch this player into attack. Can work. Can definitely work. This 100% can work. Okay, remove this. That's all. Don't focus play. In fact, you want to focus play here. You want to focus play on the right side. So you want to concentrate all your passing here. So this, you move the entire team to the right, freeing up the left. Then you want to do this. And you don't even need play out of defense. Right? You may not even need play out of defense. The ball goes up quickly, right? Your team is just building up play here and launching into the box. See, this is several options you have in this tactic. You got so many options, right? When you play a 4-4-2. We can remove the get stuck in. Okay, you can go narrow, invite teams to attack you, right? They attack you. Once they attack you, you hit them on a counter, right? Okay, you remove this. It's so simple. It's just very, very simple tactic. Okay, boom, boom. Okay, the ball goes out to the flanks, and then the flanks go release these two players for the box. That's it. It's so simple, right? Not a lot of. There's no There's not a lot of funky PITI shit nonsense, no. Okay, you can do the stuff. Yeah, you can just sell our engagements so you invite them. This is one option, right? Another option, you're to go camping. Okay. Alright, you got a camping option. Then you can play like this, and then you don't have to counter, just go counter, that's it, right? You don't elect to counter press. That's one option, right? If you want to counter press, that's also possible, probably you have the right players for it. Otherwise, just go like this. Also, this also works. There's nothing wrong with this tactic. I like it. Just have to tweak this. Just play the focus player right. It's actually a very nice tactic. It reminds me of one of my other 442s. The one I'm using for tomorrow in my draft board. Yeah. Okay, I just add this in this tactic. Full buy on attack. Here you go. Run wide with boss stay wider. No need all this nonsense. Don't add that. Don't add all this. You don't need it. Doesn't make your tactic any, holding position. No, don't do that to your ball winning midfielder. Please. This guy's holding position. Don't tell a ball winning midfielder, let him go forth and destroy teams. He'll destroy teams here. That's what you want. You want him creating all kinds of havoc in this area. So that's what you want a ball winning midfielder to do. Okay. Sit narrow. Okay. Makes sense. It can work in those cases. Yeah, that's it. Alright guys, I did my best to cover as many tactics as I possibly can, and because it's Euros, we have to go, right? So I want to thank everybody for coming. I hope I covered as many tactics as I could, and I hope I answered all your questions as well. And I am sorry that we rushed through some of the tactics, but I wanted to cover all the tactics you guys sent out. Risky, I couldn't do your tactic because kickoff is in just a few minutes away. I promise to keep that tactic, and the next time I do a live stream, we'll look at your tactic, okay? So Monday's live stream, I'll look at your tactic. How do you decide to choose with this CMD or DLP? That's easy. You don't have to decide. If your player has got the traits to play as a deep line playmaker, you play him as a CMD. He has the traits. Just move to standard passing and tempo, and he'll play as like a playmaker. Always remember, a generic role is a generic role, right? It plays to a player's traits and his attributes, right? So how do I choose? I don't choose. I sometimes use CMD, sometimes use DLP defense. If you use him as a DLP, then he becomes like a magnet, right? Players are gonna pass the ball to him all the time. Yeah. 3-man midfields are fun. You have to try a bit more. And once again, I'll thank everyone who are coming for today's stream. I hope you enjoy it. But we all have to go and do the Euros. And I'm not the sort that's gonna do let's watch the Euros and I wanna do let's chat. No. Let's sit down with a beer and enjoy yourself. Okay, that kind of thing. All right, so you guys, thanks for coming. You have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.